Well, it's been quite a while since I reviewed this brand, but it's still one of the quirkiest brands that I've had on the channel, and that is the interestingly named ATOWAK. This is the third or fourth watch that I've reviewed on the channel, and they are sort of work inspired watches. This one that we're looking at today is the Ettore Drift, and it's their driving style one. They seem to have upgraded their boxes because this is coming in this new box that looks very Art Deco. If you open up the watch, you'll see it in there. But I guess you could even turn it right round the other way and just display the watch like that. It is automatic, so it won't run all the time, but I think this box is pretty cool and a nice little upgrade. And also the price on this one is not bad either. It's $1,299, although they are doing a Black Friday sale. There is a link in the description down below, so click on that. It's not an affiliate link or anything, but it will get you straight to their website for that discount. They did send this watch in for review, hence the little paid promotion sticker at the top. And what we'll do is we'll flip the camera around now and we'll dive straight into the review. Before we dive into this cool looking watch with its wandering hour complication, let's just go over what else you got in the box. You have a little instruction manual here that came with it, and also a 2-year warranty. So you get a 2-year warranty with these ATOWAK watches. I know I've reviewed some in the past where you did get an extra strap, but this is just one strap that you get with this. But to be honest, those ones that came with extra straps, they did have interesting lug attachments, whereas this is your standard 22mm strap that tapers to 20mm. It's quite a nice leather, and it really suits the watch. They've certainly gone all out on the strap to match the watch, or to match the theme of the watch. So even though it might look it from the website and on this review, this watch is not actually that obnoxiously big. It's quite wearable size. We've got a 46.5 across the case, and then a 40.5, the actual case shape here. Obviously the lugs protrude a little bit beyond that, but because of that, it means that the strap goes all the way down the side. I'll throw it on my wrist towards the end of this review. Surprisingly, it does look like there's a lot of depth there, and there is a lot of visual depth on the dial, but if you turn the watch on its side, it's only 13mm thick, which I think is pretty decent considering the fact that they've had to put a whole extra complication on top of the Miyota 9015 movement that they're using with this. Well, let's get to the good part, and that is how this watch works. So through the clear, transparent case back there, we can see the Miyota 9015 movement. And this is one of the higher grade ones because we can see the decoration on the movement. And then they've added their own custom ATOWAK rotor there, which is, I suppose, quite plain, but it has their logo on it and it is in black. Let's move this watch round to the front so we can talk through the main complication. I'm going to have to keep this watch very still because the sapphire on here is reflective, and you're going to get under my studio lights, you're going to be able to see all the camera equipment and everything. You're going to be able to see the movie magic of how I make these reviews reflected in the crystal. But essentially, we've got the minutes around the outer track here, so obviously 0 to 60, and then the hours, the wandering hours here in the center are basically on triangles, and I'll show you a little bit how that works because it's really cool. This watch is pointing at 11:25-ish, so 11, and then we've got the minutes around there. And then if I pull the crown out, there's no seconds on this. ATOWAK do have watches that have seconds on them, but this one doesn't have seconds. But if we move this round, you'll see that as it comes back round, we're now at 12 o'clock. And then we're coming around for 1 a.m, so 1:30, and then 2 at the top's coming round as that ends. So what is happening are triangles, well, interlocking triangles to be fair. Behind this section where it says Ettore, Automatic, and ATOWAK, what's happening behind this section is those are flipping round. Because obviously if they weren't doing that, you would have to have 12 of these triangle tips on here. But it's flipping round behind that section. That's why there's such a bulky section on this side. And I think that's really cool. It's certainly unique, very unique for your $1,300. Other watches that do this is Wandering Hour, and they're loosely based on Earwork designs, and the Earwork equivalent to this, or the one that this is sort of a bit of a looky-like of, is I think over $100,000. This watch also does have another magic trick to it, and that is when you turn the lights off, because there is plenty of interesting and cool looking lume on here. To me, it has almost a Tron style theme to it. It certainly reminds me of the Tron film. It maybe doesn't last as long as other looms, but it's certainly very impressive when you see that loom shot straight away. So here you can see it on my 7.2 inch wrist, and even though it looks like it might be massive, it is not. You can even see that my wrist goes slightly beyond the end of the watch here, my 7.2 inch wrist. And if we turn it over, you'll see that the watch strap nicely tapers. It is very wearable. You can feel the weight of it when you first put it on. This is around about 110 grams. But overall, wearable watch. I have reviewed ATOWAK watches that were a lot thicker than this, but they've kept this fairly low profile at 13 millimeters. I think, considering there's that complication in there, which is pretty cool. I'm going to do a quick time lapse here of how the watch spins around so you can see it in a little bit more detail. Just in case I didn't properly explain it, you can probably see here from the time lapse how it is actually working. There is a few other interesting things about the dial, and that is the materials they've used. We're not getting a good view of that because they've painted them or coated them in black or red on this watch, but they are using a mixture of copper and aluminium to build out this wandering hour complication. This is using the Miyota 9015, and on the website they say it has a 36-hour power reserve. Now we know from looking at other Miyota 9015s that the power reserve is usually around 42 hours, so I'm wondering as they rebuild this whether they've had to add some extra power to move the wandering hour complication around. Maybe that's why there's a less power reserve. So just wrapping up here, there's certainly a quirky watch for your $1,300. There is a little sale on at the moment, so check that out if you are interested. The drift version of this is $1,300. There is a light version which is coming in around $700, but the complication is slightly different. This one does come in multiple different cases as well, so it's not just this red and black version that they make. There is other versions of this as well that you can get. This watch, I'm sure, is going to divide opinion, so I am very interested to know what you think in the comment section down below. So what did you think of the ATOWAK Ettore watch? Is it something that appeals to you? Let me know in the comment section down below. You heard my opinion, but you know I always love to hear yours in that comment section down below. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this upload, I'd appreciate if you subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you next time on Casual Watch Reviews. Thanks guys, bye.